I'm Rich Laster with GrowExpand.com, and today we're talking about something very important. What does SalesOps do in a scaling company? Because there are too many noisy options out there. There are too many people trying to sell you something, calling themselves fractionals when they're actually looking for a freaking job. But you, at the 10 million kind of space, you're ready to scale. You're at that 5 to 10 and you're ready to scale, and you don't know what the hell revenue operations or sales ops actually is. Nevertheless, what it's supposed to be doing for you in this business as you seek to scale up. The great cliche that so many people use and don't know what the hell they're talking about. So we're going to get into that right now. The Blunt on Business podcast is brought to you by...
You're ready to hire a sales rep. Now what? EdgeGTM.ai SalesOps gives you everything. A sales department manual, a live dashboard, comp plan mapping, deal review scoring, rep activity guide, and weekly coaching from your own AI sales ops consultant. 1 intake, 5 outputs, 1 week. The link's in the description to watch the demo.
Last sip of coffee, always good. Rich Laster here with GrowExpand.com. I am a chief revenue officer, fractionally for businesses. That means I go in for a set number of hours a month, get things in order, coach you and your team to maintaining that order when I disappear like MacGyver after the problem has been solved. Okay? But unlike MacGyver, I don't use rubber bands and paper clips and bubble gum. Right? So what does sales ops do for a scaling business? Before we get there, it's really important that I level set this conversation. Without repeatable sales success, your business isn't even stable. Without upwardly moving sales revenue growth, your business is not growing. And without the ability to count on that growth, predictable revenue, you'll never scale. It's just something sexy to talk about at cocktail parties and happy hours. But if you're watching this, if you're here with me, you're not into sexy, you're into profitable. And I'm glad you are here. You're important to me. We, together, people like you and I, we're going to make the world a better place. Because when all the people who they're worried about his truth and her truth, and they're making up these beautiful, very super sexy titles for themselves, when all of them die and file bankruptcy, you and I will still be here because we're actually good at what we do. So what does sales ops do for a business? Step 1, what you are looking for from sales ops is forecasting accuracy. I don't want you, guessing. You don't want to be guessing. You'll wind up in some legal troubles with your board, with investors, with partners, potentially with clients. If you're promising things that you can't deliver, okay? It's like being, a project manager and calling yourself a chief operations officer. It's a big freaking difference in the level of experience. It's a big freaking difference in the compensation that you're familiar with and the way in which you're familiar with driving performance in a business. So when you forecast out revenue, client acquisition cost of new client acquisition, right? When you calculate out the lifetime value of a client, these are things that need to be on the button, okay? Investors are going to afford you a plus minus 5% discrepancy, but like really, if you're forecasting, if your numbers, if your projections are like out of left freaking field, You better, like, pray. Pray to Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Yeshua. Listen, get Yahweh involved. Listen, light 3 candles and bake an apple pie upside down. Whatever you got to do, don't get caught BSing in your pitch deck. Don't get caught BSing as you try to go after Series A capital, right? You think private equity is going to help you. That's typically not a smart move if you're not already scaling. So the number one thing people look for from a chief revenue officer, the number one people look for out of sales operations help is forecasting accuracy. Get us to a place where we know that when we say, next quarter, we expect to do 4 to 6% growth, Q over Q, right? You want to be able to hit that 4% minimum. You want to know it. This isn't a guess. This isn't a just turn the pressure up on your team. No, this is proper and accurate forecasting. Okay? Translation into the common English vernacular, stop bullshitting. This is bullshit-free forecasting. Okay? No one is going to trust that you can do what you say you can do well if your projections are crazy. I had a client last year that said to me, he was really surprised when he visited growexpand.com and noticed that our numbers are like to the T. Oh no, we're gonna 10x your business. I don't sell drugs. No, if you want cocaine, go to your local nightclub. Somebody's got some for you. I sell systems that drive results. I don't sell BS. My father's an Army Ranger. I was not allowed to lie when I was a child. I got a butt whooping and I stopped. I had a child who they got a butt whooping for lying and they just lied more. So everybody's going to be different. But when it comes to your business, you want to be on the button. Your forecasting needs to be deadly accurate. What's the second thing that a company wants out of their sales operations? Credibility with investors. If you know your conversion rates, you know how many leads you need. If you know how many leads you need, you know how much marketing you need to do. Inbound and outbound, okay? Because you don't want leads like these amateur come by night, fresh out of college kids that start these lead gen companies are trying to sell you. You want qualified leads. And nobody can offer you qualified leads without understanding your business, your value proposition, and who your ideal client profile is. So if you want credibility with your investors, those facts, that sales process, that methodology needs to be buttoned up. And there's really no space and no time to gamble. I don't know if you're watching The Economy. This is not a podcast about the economy, but Jesus Christ. And everybody's panicking, and all the con artists are like signing up to sell an AI. And like, do you understand what it really is? Because we have one. But ours does a specific thing. It's like Taken. It has a specific set of skills, and that set of skills is based on 30 years of frameworks and strategies, all in there, locked in there, so it's not guessing. That's what investors want out of your sales ops, so that your proposals, your presentations, your reports, your updates, your performance memos are on the button. Number 3, a business, most of all, what it demands from sales operations is the meeting of a CEO's expectations. Now, somebody calling themselves a CEO thinks sales ops is just supposed to drive sales. Yeah. No. A smart CEO understands that sales ops is what converts marketing qualified leads into sales qualified leads, works those leads to becoming clients, right? Sales ops then supports fulfillment and user experience via the CRM system to make sure that what was promised gets delivered. Okay? This is imperative that people understand the night and day difference here. All right? And CEOs that have the freaking grit, the resilience, the focus, the smarts, the humility to learn what the hell you don't know and know it tomorrow. They know what I'm saying right now, and they know that the key to sales ops in an organization preparing to scale is forecast accuracy, which allows and affords and empowers them to have investor credibility. But most of all, it frees the CEO to get back to leading to his vision for the company or her vision for the company. Because guess what? Driving results it's buttoned up. We can plug people in. I want the system running, vroom, 8-cylinder minimum. So the CEO can lead, not just sell. And then when the CEO has to sell, we're talking big ticket deals, future casting, okay? I'm not just, listen, this is so important. Look, I love you, and I can go on and on forever, but we don't have that kind of time because there are people paying for my minutes. So look, if you have any questions, please feel free to jump in the comments wherever you're watching this. Once again, I'm Rich Laster with growexpand.com, and this has been the Blown on Business podcast.
A bit about our company. We produce strategies and deploy experts to grow your business revenue. The success of our clients is a direct result of the 25+ years of sales and marketing experience of our founder, Rich Laster. We take the guesswork out of increasing your revenue. Our reputation is built on results, not another roll of the dice with your marketing budget. Visit growexpand.com to learn how.